Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Sunday afternoon chat on an absolutely spectacular. I don't know how you can describe this weather here in Oklahoma. Here are the first couple of days here in October. In fact, the last couple of weeks and what we've got scheduled the next couple of weeks. Indian summer at its absolute best. I mean, that's absolute best. It was in the 40s this morning. I think 48, 49 degrees, 46, something like that showed on my truck when we went to church, and it's about 80 degrees out here right now. And you look out there, there's just like a little whisper of a wind. It's just absolutely fantastic. Couldn't get any better. I'm going to be talking about a little crappie fishing, a little bass fishing here this time of the year at the end of this chat, but I want to just run through a few things real quickly. We've had a great week this week, a busy week. It seems like every week gets busy. We thought we had the entire week here at the ranch. It didn't really turn out that way. That happens quite a little bit, actually. But we got a call from our friends over at Bass Pro Shop, and Garth Brooks is doing some concerts over at Thunder Ridge, which is at the Shooting Academy down by Big Cedar Lodge. They're in Branson, Missouri, just south of Branson, Missouri. And Garth was putting on a concert over there on actually last night, and they sold so many tickets that they decided to do Friday and Saturday. And Johnny was so concerned about a lot of the Bass Pro Shop people, a lot of the tracker people, a lot of the dealers, a lot of the pros like me, and out here the influencers they have. I've been working with Johnny ever since he started Bass Pro Shop back 50 years ago. This is the 50th anniversary. This is just one of the celebrations Johnny wanted to give back to the people all around that community over there that supported Bass Pro Shop and Tracker Marine, White River Marine now through all these years. And so my grandson, Jeremy, and his wife, Melissa, really wanted to go to that concert. So when they announced that Saturday night concert, Jeremy called and said, "Granddad, do you think you can get us some tickets to that concert?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. I do know a guy. So we'll see what happens on that." And actually, I put in a little request. I forgot all about it, and I heard that the tickets sold out real quickly, and they were even doing a second concert, and I hope those tickets sold out real quickly. And then lo and behold, we get a call. We get a call on Wednesday of this past week, and Garth is coming over to do a private concert on Thursday night, this past Thursday night. And we had tickets for it. So I called Jeremy and I said, "You still want to go?" And he said, "Golly, I thought we missed that thing." And I said, "No, we didn't. We can go tomorrow night." And so we did. Chris and I took off, went over there and met Jeremy and Melissa at my daughter's house. Sherry's out in San Diego this past week for a medical convention with Jack, her husband Jack. And they had a great time out there. Got to go to another Dodger game and see another Dodger victory. But anyway, so we go and go over there and go to the concert, and a private concert just for the Bass Pro employees, family, and friends. And 20,000 people show up. 20,000 people show up. I shot a little video about that. We'll probably be sharing with you here sometime pretty quick. We've got several different videos going around that will be on our Jimmy and Chris Houston's Twin Eagle Ranch channel. As you know, we've started a brand new fishing channel. Jimmy Houston Outdoors will be a brand new fishing channel. And I know Jimmy Houston Outdoors has been fishing, ranch, all kinds of various things around, woods, water, windshield, all kinds of various things. And that will continue to be about the same, except the fishing is all moved over to Jimmy Houston Outdoors. If you're not subscribed to Jimmy Houston Outdoors YouTube, and if you were subscribed to it, you're now subscribed to the Twin Eagle Ranch. We just changed the name of that to Twin Eagle Ranch. So Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing. If you're not subscribed, go in there and subscribe. We just lit that up about a week ago. And I've got 2,000 people on it already, so we'll get that up there, I'm sure 15, 20, 30,000 pretty quickly, I would imagine, since we got over 120,000 on now the Twin Eagle Ranch channel. We got over 600,000 on Facebook, so I'm sure we'll get the Jimmy Houston Outdoors fishing channel going pretty quickly. We're going to be doing quite a few videos for that here in the next 2 or 3 weeks in this spectacular weather that we've been having. I actually intended to filmed this past week on Thursday and Friday. We had those days set aside to do fishing videos, and that deal came up, so we went over there and did that. And that was just a great time. We had a fantastic time over there. Johnny knows how to throw a party, really knows how to throw a party. We're going to share a little bit of that experience with you because it was such a fantastic thing. We've got a couple of more appearances coming up here real quickly this month. A lot of you came by and visited yesterday at the Dolisi Rock the Block party, a touch a truck party there in Oklahoma City at the Dullese plant out on North Oklahoma Street. And we had my Ram truck and my Ranger boat right in the middle. I probably had the total for the 5 or 6 hours of the event, several hundred kids in and out of my boat. It was really fantastic, and it was just so much fun because the kids had so much fun. So many kids had never been in a bass boat, and they got to get up there in my big Ranger bass boat powered by Mercury motors, and they were pretending they were fishing. They were pretending they were driving as much as anything. So they're about like any bass boat owner. Driving's an important part of it. And we had a great time up there. Thank you, Shell Rotella, for involving me in that event. Thank you, Dullese, for having that event, because it's a tremendous event for families there in Oklahoma City, and it was a great family event. And I just warms my heart anytime I see those family events. They're just absolutely fantastic, just wonderful. This coming week, again, we planned on doing quite a bit of filming. We'll probably now kick that back probably till a little bit later in the week. I am going to Ray Scott's Celebration of Life. For those of you that do not know, Ray Scott is the founder of BASS, Bass Anglers Sportsman Society. He's the guy that started that clear back in 1967. I've had the first tournament at Beaver Lake. I did not fish that tournament. I fished the second or third tournament that they ever had on Eufaula, Alabama in 1968, and nearly won that tournament. I led that tournament the first day, caught 11 bass that weighed over 52 pounds. I had an 8-pound 10-ounce, an 8-14, and 9-3 on the same stringer, and I was just a kid back in 1968, just a kid, you know, and so that's how I started my BASS tournament career, and we only fished 1 or 2 tournaments a year there for 5 or 6 years until I think in maybe 75 was the first year we fished all of them, 1975. But I'm going to go to Ray Scott's Celebration of Life. I wouldn't miss it for anything. That'll be Tuesday. I imagine a lot of you down in that Montgomery area will go to that Ray Scott Celebration of Life event. Ray passed away here a while back, and that will be Tuesday, October 4th at 2 p.m. at Fraser Methodist Church there in Montgomery, Alabama. And I'll be there. I know Roland Martin's going to be there. I'm sure Bill Dance, Johnny Morse will be there. It'll be like probably just a get-together of the greatest bass fishermen of all time there in Montgomery, Alabama. So I'm looking forward to going down there to that event and having a great time down there. We've been letting the babies out a lot more. I've actually let them out today as soon as I got back from church, and for a long time I didn't see them. I didn't know where they were, but my 2 little babies, little Whitey and Wildchire, I looked out the front just a few minutes ago, and they're laying out there by my truck, just laying outside being perfect little angels. And so we're going to try to get them back in tonight, but I'm going to try to start letting them out more and more all the time, and probably going to put Wildchild with the 2 white albino bucks in the larger headquarters out there when I separate Prince Charming from those 2 babies, because he'll kill those 2 little baby bucks. Can't leave them with him too much longer, because they know they're bucks and they're rivals, even though he may think they're his own sons. They're rivals, and so he doesn't he doesn't like that. We had a great church service this morning at Midway Hills Baptist Church. Chris and I, it takes a lot for Chris and I to get there on time at 10:30, but we managed to get there on time again. We've done it pretty good here lately. I'm allowing 2 and 3 hours before church service starts, when I get out of bed so I can get ready and get her ready, and it works out really, really good. We've got a couple more appearances coming up. I just want to tell you about 2. It'll be real quickly. One of them is in Edmond, Oklahoma. A lot of y'all came by and visited up there at the Rock the Block party. A lot of our social media people, our YouTube folks, our Facebook friends, and thank you so much for that. I appreciate you coming by. I appreciate all of you mentioning Chris and talking about how you prayed for her. Keep praying for Chris. She can't quite walk yet, but she is just much better all the time. Her talking and her walking is still got a long way to go, no doubt about it. But God is performing miracles in her life, miracles in my life, and it's just an awesome God we serve, an awesome God we serve. We had a fantastic church service there this morning, Midway Hills Church between Davis and Sulphur, Oklahoma, and just had a super time there. I will be in Edmond, Oklahoma. That's right, Edmond, Oklahoma. That is in the Oklahoma City area. So again, if y'all are any of you around the Oklahoma City area, I will be there. Thursday night, October 13th. So just a couple of Thursdays right down the way. Not Friday the 13th, Thursday the 13th. Thursday night, First Baptist Edmond, Oklahoma. Edmond is right on the north side of Oklahoma City. Those of you that live around in that area know exactly where it is. That's a Thursday night. It's before the high school football games, before the college football games. It's a perfect time, so be sure and come out there. I'll be speaking that night, and it'll be an event that you really, really, really want to attend. We'll be showing more of this on Facebook and talking about it a little bit more on the social media in between here and there, but that's at First Baptist Edmond, Oklahoma. I'll have the address for that, which we'll be talking about. We'll probably mention it a couple, 2 or 3 times between here and now, but put it down on your calendar. Thursday night, October 13th. We want to have a tremendous amount of people up there, a lot of people up there, because it'll be a fantastic event. The following Thursday, which is October 20th, I will be down in Fort Worth, Texas, and I'll be speaking at the Cast for Kids Gala in Fort Worth. Cast for Kids Gala. We'll be having some more information about that, too, as far as it's a big dinner and a big event, and they'll have, all the people from Cast for Kids. There'll be a lot of fishermen at that event. It's just a fantastic event. And I will be the main speaker there on Thursday night, October 20. We'll be giving you some more information in between here and there on that as well. So it's going to be, a couple of appearances coming up. We're going to be doing some crappie fishing this month. I'm probably going to try to fish Fuquay Lake. It's good. I'm going to try to do a little crappie fishing within the next 30 days, maybe a day or two with my buddy Josh Jones, maybe a day or two with my buddy Wally Marshall. I might even go over and fish with Todd Huckabee over on Lake Eufaula. And but as far as the bass and the crappie and the fishing this time of the year, let me tell you, the crappie are loading up under boat docks just about everywhere. Grand Lake is probably the very best right now that it's been all year long, even better than the spawn. Some of the boat docks on Grand Lakes, if you've got a Garmin Live Scope where you can look down underneath those docks, some of the docks on Grand Lake right now have 500 and 600 crappie under them. And I'm not talking about little bitty crappie. I'm talking about 12 and 13 inch crappie. Really nice big crappie. There's a lot of bass underneath those docks now. A lot of those bass are out in front of the boat docks, so you don't need to fish back behind them or back beside them or anything. Just in the front of them right now. The bass are on the move a lot. The crappie are on the move a lot. And we've had just so much sunshine and not much rain or everything that those fish have just gravitated to those boat docks. So if you fish around anywhere where there's boat docks right now, spend a lot of time concentrating on those areas. As far as bass fishing goes, follow the shad this time of the year. Follow the shad. Find the shad. Again, you can find the shad. You don't have to see schools of them up on top of the water, although you can start seeing that in a lot of places right now. That will become more prevalent as time goes by. Go where those shad are. There's going to be fish around close to those shad. You can also find the shad by just driving around and find them on your fish locator. Even if you got just a locator that reads down only, you can still find those shads. It'll kind of give you a little clue about how deep to fish. Topwater baits, buzz baits, frogs are all working good right now. Obviously, the fall of the year is a great time of the year for spinner baits. Concentrate around the mouths of the creeks, the mouths of the pockets right now. As those shad will start moving into those mouths, and they're going to start gravitating back up toward the ends of those pockets. And as the water cools off, and these nights, 46 and 48 degree nights, we've had a couple of them here lately, even though we still had days get up to 80, 85 degrees. It's pretty much been in the 80s now for several days. We've got the 80s forecast really for about the next 10 or 12 days out. The only problem we have from a weather standpoint is rain. This drought now here in southern Oklahoma is in about 18 months now. We just are not getting any rain at all. We have none forecast the next 15 days out on the calendar, which the next 15 days out on the calendar gets us almost toward the end of October. I mean, it's just crazy how little it's been raining. October's normally a rainy month. November's a rainy month. December, the first part of December especially, is pretty rainy, and even down around Christmas time, we're got a chance to get quite a bit of rain. But you can see our lakes are low. There's many ponds around that are totally dry in this area, and where that fish that was in there just absolutely died from them just simply running out of water, running out of oxygen. A lot of the ponds and places are going to have to be restocked. We're going to probably do a lot with our lakes once we get the water back up in them, building the food supplies up. But fishing is really, really, really going to get better over the next 30 days. I mean, better tomorrow, then better the next day, and better the next day. So over the next 30 days is going to be some of the very best fishing that you can have all year long. September and October, well, September's gone. October and November are absolutely fantastic. If you're in the south, and even if you're in the north, the fish are biting in the north. just like crazy. My buddy Josh Jones and Larry Walker, two of my friends, are fishing up in Idaho right now. They sent me a picture yesterday of a smallmouth bass that weighed 874, I think, or something like that, almost 9 pounds. Another smallmouth that weighed almost 7 pounds, and they're catching a lot of smallmouth out there. Giant smallmouth, some of the biggest smallmouth in the world. Fishing is just turning on and getting red hot all over. So, and there's not that many people on the lakes. The lakes are not crowded right now. So if you get a chance to get out there and go fishing, do so. If you hadn't been fishing in a while, get out there and go. Even if you just walk down and fish off the bank at a local pond. Those ponds are getting better right now. Again, same reason. The water's cooling off at night. Beautiful, fantastic, incredible days that God's given us. I want to mention that my buddy Roland Martin made it through the hurricane down there just fine. He stayed at Naples, at his house at Naples, had a little bit of wind damage. Did not get flooded out, which was fantastic, and him and Judy made it through just fine. But for goodness sakes, remember those people in Florida. Pray for those people down there in Florida. It's unbelievable devastation down there. And there was flooding in some of the other states, and the hurricane really did a lot of damage in a lot of different places, but a few of the places in Florida, and sometimes it's kind of like just like a tornado, just a mile away or just a few blocks away with a tornado. Sometimes it's devastation, and then other houses not even getting touched. And the way that thing come around and the wind going different directions and putting the water up in places and the flooding, just absolutely incredible. So be sure and pray for those people down there. And also, there's a lot of different ways that you can send money. They've got a fund down there in Florida. That where you can send it, and all of that money is going to the flood victims. There's no administrative cost or anything taken out of that money, which is unusual when you can send money to something set up by the government and they don't keep a big percentage of it. But there's plenty of ways to donate. Help those people down there in Florida. You know, this is a big country. We have 370 million people, something like that. If everybody just give a couple bucks, you know, it would add up to a lot of money in a hurry, and it's going to take literally billions to rebuild that down there. A lot of our tax money over the next several years, as a matter of fact, will be helping the people down there in Florida. But what a great state that is. I've got a lot of friends live down there. Everybody that I know of fared fairly decent in that. There was some that suffered some losses, but pray for those people down there in Florida. Chris is doing well. I mentioned a little bit earlier. Keep praying for Chris. We keep praying for Chris. I pray every day that she will have a full recovery. And I got to tell you, and I've told you this before, when I was driving back from Alabama, I'd driven from here to Alabama that day and turned around in the middle of the interstate and drove all the way back when she had her stroke, April 5, 18 months ago, basically. A couple more days, it'll be 18 months. And I just asked God to save her life. I said, God, if you'll just save her life, if you'll just give her back to me, I'll take care of her forever. I'll take care of her forever. Just give her back to me. And I didn't ask him for complete healing. Probably should have, but I didn't right then. But I've asked him for complete healing a million times since, and I believe that God's going to do that. God's given her back to me. He's given her back. She's as beautiful as ever. She's still got a little bit of droop on that right side, but even that side has turned into a smile to match this other side over here. Her eyes are bright. At times she just talks wonderfully. At other times I can't understand a single word she says. Cannot use her right arm at all, but her left arm is fine. She just needs to do just like what every husband tells his wife. Baby, you need to gain weight and talk more. I'm sure all you girls have heard that out there every single day probably. And that's what I tell Chris. Baby, you need to gain weight and talk more. And she has lost a lot of weight, but she's eating well. And I think she's got a great cook. His name's Jimmy Houston. And I think we haven't weighed her lately. I don't think she's really gained any weight, but I think maybe she stopped losing that weight. I sure hope so. But she's doing good. But I just want to thank you personally from the very depths of my heart for your prayers. Hundreds of thousands of prayers, maybe millions of prayers have been lifted up for that little girl. And I love her so much. And I want her to talk that sweet voice again. I want her to talk about the deer and do videos. I want her to be out there in the lake fishing with me and watch her wind in a fish and hold it up and all of that kind of stuff. And I know she's going to be doing that. And I've asked my God, the God that I serve, the God that hung the moon and the stars, that can cure her instantly. If God took a notion, I could look up and see her walking down that hill to me right now. And it wouldn't surprise me if God did that. It wouldn't surprise me. If God took a notion, he could do that. But God's decided to let this last a little bit for a long time for whatever reason. I don't know. His ways are much higher than mine, so I don't really know. But But she's going to completely recover. Without a doubt, she's going to completely recover. God's got that under full control. But keep praying. Keep asking God, just like I am, every day. Heal Chris. Completely heal Chris. Let's see that recovery completely heal. We're talking about a God that walked on the water, that raised dead people from the grave, that took people that were blind and paralyzed forever in their life, and they could walk and leap and jump for joy, and they could see. What a God we serve. Keep praying for Chris, and thank you for that. Guys and girls, remember, if you want the fishing, you need to subscribe to Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing. Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing. I finally got that fishing word added to that, and we're going to be doing lots and lots of videos. We're going to be putting up a lot of fishing videos, and you want to learn how to fish a little bit better, maybe pick up a little trick or two, even if you're way better than I am, which I'm sure many of you are. You'll learn something, you'll have some fun, and it's always fun to go fishing. And look at this spectacular weather that we're going to get to start fishing in as soon as we can get some of these appearances and everything out of the way. Guys and girls, have you a great one out there today. And remember, I sure do love you.